A week ago, Syria sentenced Bashar al-Assad to death. He was not there. He is in Russia and probably never passing that sentence for real. Today, Syria sentenced his cousin to death too. This one was standing in the courtroom cage when they read it. That difference is the whole story. Here is why that distinction matters more than the headline number of another death sentence. A verdict against someone hiding in Moscow is largely symbolic, real for the historical record, but not enforceable. A verdict against someone Syria's own security forces actually captured and put in a cage is a completely different thing. It's the first real test of whether this new Syrian justice system can actually follow through. Let's get the two verdicts straight because they happened exactly a week apart. Last Tuesday, the fourth criminal court in Damascus sentenced Bashar al-Assad and his brother Maher to death in absentia for ordering murders, torture, and using state institutions to carry out crimes against humanity. Their cousin Atif Najib, who was in custody, got the same sentence for leading the 2011 crackdown in Dara that sparked the entire uprising. This week, a different cousin, Waseem Al-Assad, got his verdict. Same court, same judge, Bahruddin Al-Aryan, convicted of multiple murders in what the judge called murder accompanied by torture and brutality, classified as crimes against humanity and war crimes, specifically tied to attacks on civilian areas in eastern Ghouta, including the town of Al-Maliha. Here is an interesting wrinkle. The court actually acquitted him on the drug trafficking charges, citing insufficient evidence even though he would faced international sanctions specifically for that. Their detail matters. This is not a rubber stamp show trial, convicting on everything thrown at the defendant. They cleared him on one charge while convicting on others. Security forces captured him back in June. Syria's interior ministry described him as a leader of the Ba'ath Brigade militia and one of the former regime's top narcotics dealers and criminals. So here is the real question this raises. Does Syria actually carry out this sentence? That's genuinely unresolved and it's the thing worth watching. This is explicitly part of Syria's transitional justice process. The new government prosecuting former regime figures for war crimes during the 14-year civil war. Najib and now Wasim al-Assad are the first people actually in Syrian custody to get this sentence, not just symbolic absentia rulings. My take, how this plays out, appeal, execution or something in between, becomes a signal to the rest of the world about whether Syria's new legal system has actually teeth or whether it's mostly performing justice for people who already fled the country. Other regimes and exiled officials watching this trial are going to calibrate their own behavior based on what actually happens next, not on the verdict itself. My prediction, expect an appeal and expect this to take months, not weeks, to actually resolve. Transitional justice system rarely move fast on their first real enforcement test, especially with this much international attention on. So, to conclude it, two death sentences in 2 weeks, but only one of them is actually enforceable right now. That's the story underneath the headline. I will track whether this sentence gets appealed and what Syria actually does next. Do you think Syria follow through on in execution or does this stall out like a lot of post-revolution trials tend to?